Hey everyone, it's Brittany and Katie with the Q Team in Rochester, New York. We're back today to talk about something that a lot of our buyers have been experiencing in this market that we're in, and that is being up against cash offers.
So how are there ways? Are there ways? And if there are, what are those ways that you can make yourself equally as competitive as cash? So that's what we're gonna go over.
So looking at it simply, if a seller has a cash offer and a financed offer that has to go for an appraisal, and they're the same dollar amount, chances are high, and obviously other terms, chances are high that the seller will probably go with the cash offer because there's less risk involved. There's no appraisal, there's no underwriting guidelines. Obviously, there's just the cash is ready and
what
they can close.
What they're offered is what they're gonna get. There's no risk in that amount changing.
So home buyers who aren't fortunate enough to have the amount of cash that they need or want to purchase the home that they want, are struggling with that right now. And so what are ways that we can compete against these cash offers that will make us as good as a cash offer? And there actually are a couple ways to do that.
Yep. So this is going to depend on if you have the means or ability or whatnot to do so. But number one way that we're seeing people kind of put themselves in the level playing field as a cash offer is by offering an appraisal guarantee. So what that means is that if you make an offer for a certain price and the appraisal gets done by the bank and the appraiser values the home for lower than what you're offering, you are saying to the seller up front that I will cover any difference of that appraisal gap. So let's say, you're willing to pay $200, the appraisal comes in at $190, there's a $10,000 gap that the lender is only going to give you $190. If you're saying that you'll cover that gap, you're agreeing to make up that $10,000 difference so that the seller is guaranteed their price of $200 that you offer them.
Making yourself as strong as cash, essentially.
You're taking that appraisal risk away.
Right, you're telling the seller you're gonna get this amount of money no matter what.
So that's why most sellers prefer a cash offer. Option number two, a lot of people are doing is if they potentially have someone in, a family member or someone that has the cash available, they would like to get a mortgage, the buyer does, but sometimes they can get a gift or, be kind of loaned that money to make a cash offer up front and then get their mortgage and finance the home after closing.
Yep. That's probably the two strongest ways to do it. And obviously everybody isn't going to have the opportunity for the second way. Not everyone's going to know somebody that has hundreds of thousands of dollars liquid cash that they're willing to just, let you borrow. Right? So really what we're telling a lot of our buyers right now that are going for mortgages is trying to find a way to make ourselves able to say we will make up an appraisal gap. And sometimes that does look like maybe the buyers are pulling from their own 401k if it's necessary. It's not always necessary.
Or as a potential.
Yeah.
It's kind of I tell people you're only gonna need that extra funds if this situation arises. We'll do our due diligence to kind of make sure that we're mitigating our risk as much as possible. So the hope is that it appraises just fine and this is a non-issue and you're just basically kind of alleviating that concern from the seller up front, but hopefully this is kind of an irrelevant clause in the contract.
An extra thing to think about and stress about for no reason, hopefully, right?
Exactly. The last thing that I just wanted to kind of tease, which we're going to do a deeper dive video into, is there are some lenders that we work with that have cash guarantee programs. So there are mortgages where the lender will essentially guarantee the sale in cash to the seller, but you are getting a mortgage in the process. So we're going to do a deeper dive into that. Another video. So stay tuned for that. But we wanted to kind of touch on a couple of the ways without that program that you can make yourself as competitive.
As strong as cash.